Okay, let's get started since we have a lot to cover today. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Field to Market in Focus webinar on the Fieldprint Project Standard. We are very excited to have you all here today and eager to explore the latest version of the standard together. Quickly, I want to start with our antitrust policy. Please take a moment to read this statement. Okay. So before we get started, let's take a quick look at the agenda for today's webinar. We've already welcomed you and read the antitrust statement. After that, I'll go briefly through some housekeeping items to ensure a smooth webinar experience. We'll then provide a brief overview of Field to Market and the Fieldprint platform, since we have some non-members with us today. We'll kick things off with a quick poll to break the ice and engage everyone. And after that, we'll introduce you to the main updates made to the standard. We'll also present a brief project case study to illustrate the application of the standard in real-life scenario. And we'll ensure to leave time at the end for any question you may have and for you to complete a short survey. Finally, we'll adjourn the webinar at 2. So with that said, let's begin with our housekeeping item. Please be aware that this webinar is being recorded. Throughout the presentation, we encourage you to use the Q&A button to ask questions, and we'll address them during the dedicated Q&A session. At the end of the event, we kindly ask you to take a moment to complete our survey. Your feedback is invaluable and will help us improve future webinars. We'll reserve 5 minutes at the end for that. Before we dive into the meat of today's discussion, we wanted to set the stage with some background information on Field to Market and our Fieldprint platform. As many of you know, Field to Market brings together a diverse group of agriculture stakeholders that span the entire agricultural value chain, from the grower to the retailer, to define, measure, and advance the sustainability of food, feed, fiber, and fuel production in the United States. Field to Market was established 15 years ago and was formed out of a belief that no one organization in the food and ag supply chain can meet the challenges of our industry alone. We are proud to represent over 190 member organizations who are united in our mission to meet the growing demand for food, feed, fiber, and fuel sustainably and responsibly while enhancing farmer livelihood. Among the many benefits we offer our membership, we might be most well known for our Fieldprint platform. Field to Market Fieldprint platform provide farmers with a field-level assessment of how their management practices affect its sustainability metric that we track. Therefore, the platform enables farmers and their supply chain partners to document sustainability outcome and tell that story to both retailers and consumers using research and science-based data. The platform also accelerates continuous improvement by helping farmers identify opportunities to improve productivity, profitability, and environmental outcome, benefiting the entire agricultural value chain from farm gate to the retail. So by uniting the agricultural supply chain and key stakeholders around a common measurement framework, Field to Market seeks to drive continuous improvement in the sustainability of commodity crop production. Okay, now let's kick things off with a quick poll to gauge everyone's familiarity level with the standard. So you should be able to see the list of quick questions on your screen. I'm gonna give you a few more minutes to answer the poll so we can see why you are joining us today and how familiar you are with the Fieldprint Project Standard. Okay, I think I'm gonna give you a few more seconds and then we'll be able to see the result. Okay, oh, that's good. 48% join. 48% of you joined to learn more about the Fieldprint Project Standard, which is great. 34% are currently involved in a Fieldprint project. That's good to know. That's great insight. 66% of you are kind of familiar with the standard, and 28% are very familiar, while only 7% no, sorry, I read it backward. So 66% of you are kind of familiar with the standard, 7% of you are very familiar, while 28% of you are not familiar at all. So I feel like after the webinars today, those 28% will gain great insight on the standard. Okay, I'd like to see why you think the standard is important. Sounds good. Thank you. That's good to know. Okay, so I'm glad to see the result. So now let's move on to the updates made to the standard. Let's start by discussing the standard's content and scope. So the Fieldprint Project Standard is a public-facing document that outlines the core requirement for Fieldprint project to catalyze in continuous improvement, demonstrate credible progress, pursue claim, and achieve their sustainability and regenerative goal. It's important to note that the standard is applicable to all field-to-market project administrators and Fieldprint projects. Following our understanding of the standard content and scope, I also like to highlight its purpose and significance for field-to-market and for our members. In this sense, the standard sets clear expectation for project implementation, emphasizing credibility and rigor. It also provides a consistent framework and guideline for project management to enhance project performance. Some key benefits include efficiency by optimizing processes for improved outcome, consistency by ensuring uniformity across project implementation, quality assurance by helping project maintain high standard to build credibility, continuous improvement by iteratively refining processes for better outcome, scalability by promoting adaptation to accommodate evolving needs and growth, risk management by mitigating potential challenges, and improve communication by conveying project objective and progress clearly and transparently. So in a nutshell, all of the answers that we asked on why the standard is important are valid answers. I also wanted to quickly show you the standard evolution over time. This review process timeline provide valuable insight into how the standard has been refined and updated to meet the changing needs of our members and the evolving landscape of our industry. So the first version of the standard was released in July 2020. The revision process started 2 years later in 2022. Feedback was collected from both members and the public through 2 comment periods. As you can see, member comment period lasted from August to November 2022, and our public comment period was from March to May 2023. After that, the standard committee, comprised of 19 field to market members at that time, meticulously reviewed the comments received and provided recommendation to the board at the June plenary last year. Following board approval, the committee proceeded to revise the standard and release it in December 2023, incorporating the feedback received, some of them. So as not all comments could be addressed within the revised standard, a separate document was also developed to respond comprehensively to all comments received. And this document is also available on the standard webpage, which is now live. Please note that the standard will be reviewed regularly to maintain its relevance and ensure up-to-date content. As an Insight member of ICL, Field to Market adheres to their rule and recognize the importance of regular updates to the standard, engaging stakeholders in the review process to enhance its relevance, ensure transparency, and maintain its integrity. So as mentioned previously, the new Fieldprint Project Standard was unveiled at the December plenary last year by the Standards Committee. Please feel free to scan this QR code to have access to the standard. Updates include enhancement to the Fieldprint Project framework to improve effectiveness, tailored enhancement to the project type specific requirement, ensuring they meet the unique needs of each project. Additional information on claim to streamline processes and enhance efficiency are now available on this new version of the standard, and a comprehensive guidance on effective project planning, communication, implementation, and reporting strategies. Transitioning now to the core content of the standard, we should highlight the foundation of our approach, which is the continuous improvement process. This process is fundamental to our standard and serves as the cornerstone of our efforts to drive positive change within the agricultural industry by ensuring the successful implementation of projects that benefit all, people, planet, and agriculture. Let's explore the 5 phases of the continuous improvement process. First, project implementers should define project intent and scope. This involves articulating the project overall purpose, objective, and scope. In this initial phase, stakeholders work together to select project pathway and location, identify local natural resource concern to address, and identify key supply chain partners to implement the project with. Phase 2 builds upon phase 1 and entail the development of a comprehensive continuous improvement plan that outlines specific objectives and strategy to achieve the project goal. In phase 3, the continuous improvement plan is put into action and progress is regularly monitored and evaluated against predefined metric and target. Adaptive management principle can also be applied here, enabling adjustment in implementation efforts as necessary. This flexibility ensures responsiveness to changing conditions and maximize the project effectiveness. Phase 4, document project level improvement by conducting a project evaluation. This includes tracking changes, lessons learned, and best practices, which provide valuable insight for future reference and decision-making. Phase 5, demonstrate project level impact, involves assessing and communicating the overall impact and outcome of the project by evaluating metric result. Please note that this phase is optional for insight and innovation projects, while incubation projects are not eligible for it. In the next slide, you'll better understand the different project pathway that we offer. So by embracing this process, project implementers can effectively articulate project objectives, develop comprehensive plan, monitor progress, document achievement, and ultimately demonstrate the positive impact of their initiatives. So following the continuous improvement process, I think it's important to show you quickly how the Fieldprint projects are usually designed. First, you of course need farmers. If you want to make a change at the farm level, you need grower engagement and buy-in. Field to market project work with farmer cohort of all sizes, from 1 to more than 1,000 for our largest project. The second bucket is what we call implementation partners, who provide data entry help, standardized data and quality assurance. They help with data analysis, provide grower education and technical assistance, and this covers a whole range of field to market members, as you can see on the slide. And lastly, we have our project lead, who are the organization who are ultimately driving the project and telling the story of change which is achieved. So there are numerous benefits to project implementation for the different stakeholders involved. For farmers, this benefit might look like access to valuable data for informed decision-making, availability of technical assistance to address specific local challenges, opportunities for networking and knowledge sharing among peers, access to incentives that promote sustainable or regenerative practices, improved access to market for their product, and much more. On the other hand, for project lead and implementation partners, this benefit may include enhanced capability for reporting project outcome effectively, access to supplier-specific emission factors, support in achieving regenerative agriculture goal, access to actionable data to guide intervention strategy, opportunities for research collaboration, strengthen relationship with growers and local community, and much more. Those are just the main ones. So as you can see, Field to Market Project Framework embodies a process-based approach to collaboratively advance continuous improvement, addressing local natural resource concern through 3 different project pathways that we will talk about in a few. So this pathway accommodates growers and the value chain at various stages on their sustainable and or regenerative journey. So from creating building blocks for growers to get started on their journey, to improving transparency by benchmarking sustainable or regenerative performance, or supporting innovative incentive program to accelerate practices adoption, our flexible approach to project creates shared value for improved outcome, unlocking lasting impact. Please note that as part of our project framework, all projects listed in Field to Market Project Directory must meet specific requirements, and these are multi-stakeholder participation. A Fieldprint project must include active participation by at least 2 stakeholders within the agricultural value chain. Public commitment, all projects should be registered in the Field to Market Public Project Directory. Projects should set SMART objectives that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Projects should develop a continuous improvement plan and also track and report progress annually to Field to Market staff. In multiple occasions during the presentation, we mentioned that the standard enables 3 project pathways: incubation, insight, and innovation, each with specific requirement. The term pathway suggests the potential for progression between projects, but this evolution or step process is not mandatory. For example, some projects can begin as an innovation project right away. And in the next slide, we'll delve into the characteristics of each pathway. So the incubation projects are more focused on engaging and educating growers on 1 or more environmental metrics. One example could be a project whose goal is to help 30 farmers develop conservation plan with a special emphasis on soil conservation. That's an example of an incubation project, and they don't need to use the Fieldprint platform for that. While inside project extend beyond incubation project by using the Fieldprint platform to gather, measure, and share information on growers' environmental outcome. One example could be a grain aggregator that uses the Fieldprint platform for peer-to-peer learning for farmers in their mill shed, as well as aggregating those results for a downstream customer who can also be part of the project. An innovation project, on the other hand, extend beyond inside project by supporting practice change through technical and financial assistance and measuring environmental outcome through the Fieldprint platform. And an example could be a grain aggregator and a food company working together to establish a project that provide cost share for cover crop adoption, for example, while also using the Fieldprint platform to document improved environmental outcome and demonstrate responsible sourcing. Now, moving on to the reporting requirement, the standard emphasizes the importance of submitting an annual report that highlights progress made against stated objectives and any adaptive management taken. Additionally, upon completion of the project, a project level evaluation should be conducted, and a summary of this evaluation will be made public on Field to Market Public Project Directory. The standard also offers clear guidance on how to effectively communicate about your project by facilitating 5 types of claims, which are participation claim, which demonstrate the number of growers and acres involved in the project. We also have adoption claim that showcase the adoption of conservation practices or technologies such as no-till or cover crop. The standard also enables measurement claim. This claim provide a 1-year snapshot of aggregate environmental outcome. It also enables trend claim to indicate interim directional improvement in a metric outcome, demonstrating the project progress and performance trend. And we also have the impact claim, which showcase sustained improvement in a metric outcome, highlighting the long-term positive impact of the project. So participation and adoption claim are commonly used for communication purposes, such as in sustainability report, and are eligible for all project pathway and can be made in the first year of the project. Measurement claim establish baseline or outcome for a given period and are only eligible for insight and innovation project and can also be made in the first year of the project. Meanwhile, trend and impact claim can be used to demonstrate Scope 3 emission reduction, progress against regenerative ag goal, or other environmental improvement goal, and are only eligible for insight and innovation project. It's also important to note that trend claim can be made from the second year of your project, while impact claim require 5 years of data and third-party verification. So from participation claim to impact claim, project can credibly communicate their progress and achievement at different stages in their efforts to enhance environmental outcome. The standard also prioritizes transparency in providing how you can verify progress report, display on the project directory, and offer guidance for project lead to choose between first, second, and third-party verification. So first-party verified, those are projects where the assessment of progress is performed by the person or organization that is being assessed. Example includes self-assessment, internal audit, or a project growers entering data directly in the Fieldprint platform with no technical assistance. Second-party verified, those are projects where the assessment of progress is performed by a contracted party, which has a user interest in the outcome of the assessment. And in the context of field-to-market approach, this can be a contracted technical service provider, contracted qualified data management partner, an NGO project administrator, or any other entity that is being contracted and paid by a project lead to manage a project. And third-party verified projects are the one for which the assessment of progress is performed by an entity that is independent and has no vested interest in the outcome of the reported result. And in the context of field-to-market approach, these will include letters of audit finding issued by an independent parties. So to conclude our overview of the standard element, let's take a brief look at the 4 project status enabled by the standard. First, we have the prospective status. Prospective project can be registered to the project directory before finalizing a continuous improvement plan and will not be made public. Active status for projects that meet all requirements for their respective project pathway and are ready to be published on the directory. Cancel, the status applies to projects that do not comply with the standard as well as the reporting, membership, and or licensing requirement. All projects that self-report their completion without achieving targeted goals and objectives. And for those of you who are familiar with the former standard, it's worth noting that the former suspended and terminated statuses have been combined into the cancel status in order to streamline and simplify the different statuses and reduce potential confusion. Last but not least, we have the completed status, which refers to projects that have achieved their goals and objectives and ended in good standing. The standard also contains a dispute resolution and appeal process to address any potential issues that may arise during project implementation. And to summarize the significant updates integrated into the standard, here is a brief recap. The standard has been rebranded as the Fieldprint Project Standard with a complete redesign. The Continuous Improvement Accelerator terminology has been replaced with Project Framework. The standard now requires SMART objective for project, reduction of project status from 5 to 4, public availability of linked document in the standard for transparency, additional information on claim, and inclusion of language related to regenerative agriculture. With that, I'll hand it over to Sydney Musha, our Sustainability Project Manager, who will delve into a case study that demonstrates the practical application of the standard to various projects. Sydney, take it away.
Thanks, Coralie. Let me go ahead and share my screen now. Hopefully everyone can see that. We will go ahead and start. So let's explain the framework through an example project on Field to Market's project directory. Again, I want to state that this is a project that we made up as an example for this webinar. So I'll go ahead and show you through this process. So this is the project directory here, and we pulled up that project in question. So the State Department of Agriculture's Soil and Water Conservation Division aims to improve water quality, preserving the natural resources of the state, and ensure the resilience of agricultural production by providing a voluntary incentive-based conservation program to all eligible cooperators in the state. The program will provide a cost-share assistance, either 75% or 90%, to qualifying cooperators on a reimbursement basis to those that implement NRCS and state best management practices that help protect water quality. Cooperators will then enter the data in the Fieldprint platform with the assistance of their soil and water conservation districts to help provide the state legislator with tangible water quality and other sustainable agricultural improvements. Cooperators, in addition to the cost share, will receive advanced technical support to help increase farm sustainability and resilience. So let's talk a little bit about the project eligibility requirements first. We'll see that this project has multi-stakeholder participation. You can see that from both the description, and then as you go down, the project sponsor organizations will be listed here. So as this is an example, we don't actually have project partners listed, but they would be through this next to Field to Market here in this example. We will go ahead, and the directory acts as a place to show the required public commitment to the project's objectives and goals in advancing sustainable agriculture. So you can see we have 3 objectives listed here for this project. We'll go ahead and display them here. So you're able to put an objective title and then your actual objective. So in this case, increasing the number of cooperators participating in the conservation program by 5% within the next fiscal year. So it's a SMART goal. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So you can see that for all three. The second one is enhanced best management practice implementation. So increase the adoption of NRCS or state best management practices by 5% among program participants within the next 5 years. And then the last goal was increasing the utilization of advanced technical support services by 15% among participating cooperators by the end of the project, which in this example case was 2030. So through the registration process for projects, questions are asked that encompass the project's goals and objectives and the process to achieve them, aka our continuous improvement plan that Coralie spoke about. Projects will have to answer the following questions that encompass this process. What are the natural resource concerns that will be addressed, which is also listed on the directory here. So we can scroll down and you can see the natural resource concerns that this project will address, such as climate change, ecosystem conservation, soil health, water scarcity, and water quality. The counties or watersheds the project is located in, which is also listed in the directory. So this project is located in North Carolina. Since that's where I am, I've chosen random counties here. The questions are also asking which project pathway the project is. So as you can see up here from the top, we've decided to make this project an innovation project, which Coralie talked about the differences between the three. Projects will also have to answer the planned project duration, which should be listed in the objective, which you can see from the third objective here. It is listed. They'll be asked the planned crops with primary crop rotations, the continuous improvement strategies such as technical or financial assistance, and targeted practice changes such as the adoption of cover crops, grass waterways, irrigation water management, or reduced tillage, just to name a few, and any related sustainability initiatives the project is set out to achieve, such as RCPP, internal company sustainability goals, Sustain Cert, SBTI, or SCI. And then the next project eligibility requirement I want to mention is tracking in progress and reporting against the goals by submitting an annual report. We have a guidance document and a recorded webinar from last week to walk you through the annual reporting process if that is of interest. And then the last aspect that we want to highlight are the claims. Even though they are not listed here in the directory, claims are important to projects and can help tell the project and the partner's sustainable agriculture story. Claims are available to field to market Fieldprint projects that are meeting the requirements of the Fieldprint Project Standard and are in good standing. If you do wish to submit a claim, please contact our communication goddess, Katrina Stacy. And at that point in time, I will go ahead and open it up for the question and answer section of the webinar. We will be joined by the Standard Committee co-chairs, Sally Shavers from the National Corn Growers Association and Clarissa Levi from the Minnesota Agriculture Water Quality Certification Program. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen and we'll have them hop in.
Okay, so I am not seeing any question right now, but feel free to use the Q&A button to ask any question that you have. Okay, so we receive our first question, and Sally, I'll let you answer and I'll wait for you. Is second party verification enough for most reporting scheme?
I think one of the important things when you're setting up one of these projects is to work with the people within your project, but also if you're working, say, with one of the brands and retails and you're concerned about marketing your product, it's important to know what they are going to require before you make the decision about what level of verification that you need on your project. And certainly when you're setting up your project, you're going to have to keep this in mind, what level of verification you will need so that you'll make sure that you collect the right data along the way and have the right reporting. So I would just say that's something you need to decide up front, and you probably need to work with the end users to know what they will accept and what they won't accept.
Thank you. And just to build upon what Sally said, yes, the third-party verification is the only, we need third-party verification only if you are making impact claim. This is the only claim where we require third-party verifier, but a project can decide to choose the level of verification that they feel more comfortable with, depending on their needs and their objective. We have another question, which is, can you change project pathway type while the project is ongoing? And I'll go ahead and then answer this question. So as we said, we use the word pathway to show progression, but you don't have to follow this pathway. A project can start as an innovation right away if you are ready, and then if you are starting as an incubation and then feel like that you meet the requirement to be an inside project, you can change from incubation to inside while you are implementing the project, and so on. If you are an inside project and feel like you meet the requirement for an innovation project, you can change your project pathway while you are implementing the project, as long as you demonstrate that you meet the requirement for the next pathway. We have a question: how do claims work for biodiversity and other qualitative metric? Sydney, do you want to take this question?
Sure. Yeah. So, I think, we have the claims process and Coralie, while I'm still new, feel free to chime in as well. But the projects are either, the claims are kind of based off of how many years that you're in here for a project. So you can make participation claims, at the start of a project. So you have X amount of growers, X amount of acres, and then you can kind of progress as the project moves forward in years. So a participation or trend claim for another number of years. So I would like to think that you can try and file a claim about biodiversity saying, we've got X amount of farmers, working to implement a conservation practice focusing on biodiversity if you're going forward for a current trend and impact claim further down.
We have another question: where can we find third-party auditors? So if you go on the Fieldprint Project Standard, we have a document called the verification protocol that we designed, and that can show you some auditors that Field to Market has been approved, that we've worked with, that a lot of our members have been using for a long time. But if you want to use another auditor, it's up to your organization. We certainly can provide you with some auditors that our members are usually using, but you also have the flexibility to choose an auditors and then share with us the letter of audit. But we need to know about this auditor first, and we need to make sure that the auditors is aware of our verification protocol or is familiar with our verification protocol. Another question that we have is, who and how will the information to the local area get the farmers involved? Clarissa, do you want to answer this question?
Sure. Yeah, I can take a try at this question. So I think, in the standard, we talk about how partnerships are really important. And so I think making sure that you have folks that are working with farmers involved in your project is very helpful, because then they already have those connections, so they can reach out and get a good cohort of people. And then also, when information is, ready to be conveyed back to the farmers, I think it's important to have those, trusted advisors, technical service providers, whatever you want to call them, there also to deliver the information and talk through it with the farmers. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know if it's Sydney or Coralie or somebody if you guys have more to add, please feel free.
No, I think you nailed it, Carissa. How do we know what we are allowed to say about my company's involvement with Field to Market? So we have a claim form that you can file if you want to make a claim. And so the claim form is available in the project standard as well. We'll link a quick guidance of the claim in the standard, and in this guidance you can see the form to fill out when you want to submit a claim. And our communication senior manager Katrina will receive your claim request and will validate it. And if you don't want to make a claim, and if you are not sure about what you want to say about your involvement with Field to Market, feel free to contact us. You can contact me, or you can also contact our Senior Manager of Communication, Katrina Stacy, and then we can help guide you. How do we learn to start a project? Sydney?
Yes, I can take that one. So I do want to, make it note again that only full members for Field to Market can lead projects. So if you're not a full member, you can contact Coralie about becoming a full member, because we would love to have you. And then if you are a full member and you would like to start a project, I'm going to be your main point of contact. So if you are a member, we did a project your annual report webinar last week, but we are going to do one about how to register a project next month, and we'll continue the series about all things Field to Market and Fieldprint Projects. So if you are a member, please contact me. We're starting up a project administrators network, which again will be a great opportunity for you to learn and understand how projects have been started in the past, as well as help us get new guidance materials on how to start those projects. So please contact me. I'd be happy to help.
Thank you, Sydney. Another question that we have: can a brand retailer make a claim if they are a non-member? And it's a two-part question. And if they invested in the innovation and partner group that advance the mission, do they have the right to be part of the claim result? I can go ahead and then answer this question. So as Sydney mentioned, only full members of Field to Market can lead a project. But if you are not a full member of Field to Market, you can be a project partner, and there will be a fee associated with your involvement in this project. So we have more information on our project licensing fees online, and feel free to reach out to us. We can also share this document with you. And so there will be a fee associated with the number of acres that are allocated to you as part of this project. And after you pay the licensing fee, you will now be eligible to make a claim, even if you are not a non-member. And if you're invested in the project, you can make the claim. You can be part of the claim result as long as you are paying the licensing fee. I hope that answered this question. The next question that we have: how can I become part of the standard committee? I can go ahead and then answer this question as well. So we just want to highlight that Field to Market committee are only Field to Market full members are eligible to be part of any of our committee, including the standard committee. So if you want to be part of the standard committee, first you need to become a full member. And the process to be part of the committee, if you are a full member, is that there is nomination every year to be part of the project of the committee, and there will be election after that. So we have 4 seats per sector in each committee, and for those of you who are non-members, our membership is organized into 5 different sectors. And so there's that means we have 20 seats in the standard committee for our members. So since we have way more members than seats available, so there is an election process to be part of it. But in a nutshell, that's how you can be part of the standard committee or any other committee that we have in Field to Market. So in addition to the standard committee that's working on standard that members should follow to implement a project, or we also work on our sustainability partnership with other organizations. We have 3 others committee in Field to Market. There's the Education and Outreach Committee, which work on all of our educational materials and outreach event. We have the Innovative Finance Committee, which work on innovative incentive for growers. And we also have our Metric Committee, which makes sure that our metric are up to date and that we also adopt metric when new science is available. So those are the 4 committee that we have currently in Field to Market, and they are only open to full members. Okay, I don't see any other question. Is there any other question? Okay, well, I think that's it for the Q&A session. Sally, Clarissa, or Sydney, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay, sounds good.
Appreciate everybody's joining.
Yes, thank you. Well, we'll still have a few more slides to go through. Okay, so for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to explore the standard webpage yet, you can access it by scanning this QR code. The webpage hosts not only the standard, but also additional resources pertinent to the standard implementation. Alternatively, the link has been shared in the chat at some point for your convenience. Please be aware that upon accessing the webpage, you will be prompted to provide your contact information. And we encourage you to take the time to explore the standard and make the most of its resources. So we truly value your participation and hope that you stay connected. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via email using the addresses providing on the slide. Mine and Sydney's email are on the slide. And just as a reminder, I am the Director of Program and Partnership at Field to Market. So if you have any question related to membership, as if you'd like to become a member of Field to Market, or if you have any question on the standard, feel free to reach out to me. And if you have any question related to how to start a project or to change project pathway, if you already have a project within Field to Market, Sydney is your best point of contact. Also, we hope that you stay connected with us on social media and stay updated with our latest news and events by subscribing to our newsletter on our website. And before we wrap up today's session, we'd greatly appreciate your feedback. In the last 5 minutes of our webinar, we kindly ask you to take a moment to complete this short survey. You can scan the QR code displayed on the screen or click the link posted in the chat to access the survey. I will stay on this slide for a few minutes just to give you time to scan it and then complete it. We hope that you will use this remaining time to complete it since you already book your calendar for the webinar anyway. And then feel free to log off when you finish completing the survey, as it's the end of the webinar. Just wanted to reiterate that your feedback is incredibly important to us. And we thank you for joining us today.